Alumni chapter. She was elected to the Secretary, Vice President of KEA, Kerala Engineers Association, a network of former students of all engineering colleges of Kerala. She is also serving as a executive member of many associations in Bangalore. She also visited many countries like Singapore, US, Australia, etc. as part of her career and research and presentations. Personally, I know her from past 9 years after me getting introduced to KEA. Ma'am, it's my privilege and honor to invite you for this session. Over to you.
Okay, thank you, Arjun. Yes, thank you, Wayanad GC College. Thank you, Arjun. And you told 30 years of experience. Actually, I got 39 years of experience. I'm so proud about it. Now, about Arjun, I know you 9 years only. I feel like that I know you more than that. That is the interactions we are having. That's why. At present, we are, he was very active in Kerala Engineering Association, KEA, that's what we say, Alumni Association, different colleges from Kerala, those who are coming here and working here, they become the part of KEA. And I think we are having about 3,000, more than that, Arjun? Yes, I think yeah, more than 3,000 in KEA as members. And I worked very closely with the KEA. Why I am telling is because I know Arjun because of KEA, and he did a lot of good work. So then this time we made him the member secretary of KEA, and I think you conducted football tournament, sports event, and 7 seminars. And what about COVID related activities? More than 12, I think. You are taking a lot of interest. And I remember last time you went to give some part of that flood relief camp. I think you personally met Chief Minister of Kerala and handed over. I remember that this one, and I also closely related to that. Thanks. You're doing a good job, Arjun. And this time you conducted so many things. Okay, now here also you are part of webinars. In this, you are a previous alumnus. You are that alumnus from GEC Wayanad, correct? Yeah, good work. Anyway, thank you, children, and all the officials here from that engineering college. Gender bias and awareness session. This is something very close to my heart because I am not a very expert, because this is actually there should be a law related background and you should know so many laws about this. But since I am not in that, I am not a very expert, but I gain knowledge. I attended so many seminars, webinars, international conference, and even I was the ICC member of Presidency University, that is a member secretary of that internal compliance committee. So I gathered knowledge. Then I thought this is very, very interesting and very close to my heart, this topic. I thought you children should know about this so that we can have a society without this biasing. Next slide. Let me continue. Yes, this is the topics. Even though I don't think within 1 hour I can complete, if the time permits, I will complete all the topics. Otherwise, I'll cut short here and there. I just want to tell you what is gender bias mainly, but in between I'll be deviating to just what do you mean by bias. Gender bias is very specific to male and female, but bias can be within the female category, even within the male category, or maybe different section of people. That way also we can have the word bias. So gender bias in home, I'll take separately. In schools, in workplace, I'll cut short a little bit. And in general, I want to just discuss about it. And wherever necessary, I will just tell you some real example, the eminent personalities, how they felt about when they traveled abroad, when they were working in the corporate, how they felt it, and how to deal, the ways to deal with the gender bias. I will be explaining wherever necessary. I am not taking a separate slide for that, but we can have a discussions. Next slide, please. Yes. Now, what do you mean by gender bias? The bias is actually preferential treatment. Bias is prevalent or dominant in every aspect of our lives. Among men, there can be bias within the category of women. And so what about black people and white people? I don't want to say that word, but that's what, in abroad also so many times, you are black, you are white. We have seen so many incidents recently. So biases can cause us to perform prejudices or prejudgments against others. In this, my session, I focus mainly on gender binaries, that is male and female, and ways you can reduce gender bias. What do you mean by gender bias? It is the tendency to prefer one gender over another. It occurs when one individual unconsciously attributes or certain attitudes and stereotypes or labels to another person or group of people. Gender bias is often used to refer to the preferential treatment, as I already told, but boys don't get bad because normally gender bias, preferential treatment men receive. That is why this gender bias normally, I want to concentrate on that because that is very, very damaging. Gender bias is visible within the professional settings, in home, and also in educational systems, schools, colleges, institutions. So the next slide, please. So here there is a classic example of bias. Everybody knows this eminent lady, Sudha Murthy. What she felt when in a airport. That's what I want to explain here. Before that, she is the philanthropist, founding member and chairman of Infosys Foundation, and also associated with Gates Foundation. What I am going to tell, the true story, what she felt and she remembered, and it was a very hurting incident for her. It is written in the book, 3000 Stitches, Ordinary People, Extraordinary Lives. So here it goes like this. She was at the Heathrow International Airport in London. She wanted to board a flight. So what she says is she preferred to wear saris in abroad as well as in India. But when she wanted to travel, she preferred to wear salwar kameez. So here she is, a senior citizen, dressed in typical Indian apparel at the international, London Airport terminal gate. After a few minutes, the boarding announcement was made and she joined in the queue. So there were two ladies in front of her. I want you to visualize. So I will just tell you, a well-groomed lady in an Indo-Western silk outfit with a Gucci handbag and high heels. And another lady, maybe friends or maybe relatives, an expensive silk sari with a matching pearl necklace, all those things. Suddenly, the woman in front of her turned sideways and asked Sudha, "Can I see your boarding pass?" Sudha was little bit, she was having a pity in her eyes. I mean, those two ladies, because the way she was looking. So Sudha thought, why she's asking me? She just very casually, she asked, why? Well, they told this line is meant for business class travelers only. And she very confidently, those two ladies told Sudha Murthy, you should go and stand there, that another queue for the economic class. But Sudha Murthy was very silently, she was just silent there. But she was wondering, was it worthy of being in the business class? Why she was thinking that she is not worthy? So she just asked them, why should I stand there? Then these two ladies taken a lot of initiation. There's a big difference, and they started explaining the differences, preferences, what they are going to get from this business class. But Sudha was very firm. She just stood there. Then these two ladies turned each other little sarcastically, loud voice. They talked to each other. They want others to hear. It is very hard to argue with these cattle class people. Let the staff come and instruct her where to go. She's not going to listen to us. Sudha she didn't get angry. The word cattle class was like a blast to her. So the turn came, those two ladies showed the documents and moved very slowly forward because they want to see what is going to happen for Sudha Murthy. But the airline staff, they recognized Sudha Murthy because she is a frequent traveler, and they had a little chit-chat, and afterwards Sudha Murthy just moved forward little fast to reach those two ladies, and she wanted to make them, she was annoyed in her mind because they have taken her peace of mind. What made you to think that I couldn't afford a business class ticket. Even if I don't have, this is what she told, okay, this is in the quote. Was it really your privilege to tell me where I should stand? You refer to the term cattle class. Class does not mean possession of a huge amount of money. She got given 2-3 sentences, maybe some more, and she moved forward without hearing her. But at least she was happy that she could tell them, make them feel. So this is the classic example from so many incidents. But I really love Sudha ma'am. So I thought I'll take this classic example, how she felt biased. This is not a gender bias, but there is a biasing there. The way she looked, they felt she's not from a rich family. She's not from a very educated family. Maybe she's just want to come here because of some reasons, and she want to join the line, and she made a mistake. So this is an example I just want to share with you. Now let me move on. Slide number 5, gender bias in schools. Now sitting in the same classroom, reading the same textbooks and notebooks, listening to the same teacher, it is noticed that boys and girls receive very different educations. Girls perform equal to or better than boys on nearly every measure of achievement. But by the time they graduate high school, or maybe little higher education from high school or pre-university or PDC, whatever, it is seen that girls fall behind from their peer group. Females receive less attention from teachers, and the attention that female students do receive is often more negative than attention what boys receive. See, students, what I want to tell you is what the gender bias and bias, what I am talking, you don't think of you students, you know the some colleges, you studied some schools, maybe it is not there. Even many of the urban areas, wealthy people, it is not there. You will come across all these incidents. In some category of society, some category of people, and some traditions what very blindly they follow, some families, and some remote area, some schools, some colleges, and especially in North India, we are hearing from the media, from the TV, from all the media, we are hearing all these things. So please understand, please try to remember what you undergone or heard from the media, from the articles, from the newspapers, from the schools. No, you can always relate when I move on from slide to slide. See, girls are made aware that they are unequal to boys. In the nursery class and junior classes, every time students are seated separately or lined up by gender, teachers are affirming that girls and boys should be treated differently. So we are embedding all this in the childhood itself. Girls are praised for being neat, quiet, calm, but where boys are encouraged to think independently, be active, and speak up. So researchers have found that the girls' opinions are viewed inferior by their male peers also. Suppose the teacher is asking some questions to the girl students or boys in the class in common. Girls want to have some answer. They are all very quiet because they are born and brought up like that. Many girl students. If they talk loudly, don't talk loudly. You have to get married to go to another house, correct? This is the some sentences we come across. So when the girls say something, even the boys some murmur or laugh at the girls. What they will know, what is this? She was so quiet in the class. What is she want to tell in the class now? So some boys really take initiative and outperform the girls. And what about boys? They are teased, taunted. Suppose the boys are very quiet and sitting very quiet in the class, very passive, not at all very active. What the others say? Friends only will tell, Ada, why? Boys, why are you sitting like that? Like girls. Come out, we'll play something. Don't behave like girls. Suppose you cry, I mean boys, cry. Don't cry like a girl. So crying like a girl, which implies that being a girl is worse than being a boy. So we are all unconsciously, I don't think anybody is doing consciously, because generations to generations, these are all the sentences moving forward. You know, classrooms are miniatures of their society. So we have to mold all the students to become a good human being without any gender bias, to represent our society, to represent our state, to represent our country. Bias is embedded in textbooks, lessons, and even the teachers interact, the way they interact with students. Everywhere we can see the gender bias. Girls who sit quietly are ignored. Boys who act very smart, outspoken, they are all picked up. The girls may be very meritorious, but still, teachers think that these boys can represent better than girls when they go represent the school in the special programs. So efforts need to be made to fight, to combat gender bias. The study shows teachers do agree disproportionate amount of time and energy as well as the different sorts of attention they give to male students. So the teachers need to be provided with the resources to help them change. Teachers need to be aware of the gender bias embedded in many educational materials. What about the stories? What we tell the children? What about the fairy tales? We are all our students and children. The teachers tell the story to the students and parents tell the stories to the children at home. Many of our classroom examples, storybooks, and texts describe a world in which boys and men are bright, very curious, brave, inventive, and powerful. But girls and women are silent, passive, and they are invisible. They are not prominent. They are not. They prevail at different attributes. The victims, that is, girls and women, females, women of this bias have been trained through years of schooling to be silent and passive. Suppose they speak loudly. Girls, don't speak loudly. What are you doing there? Sit quiet. You can hear all these things. Many times you might have come across. But what happens is teachers are generally unaware of their own bias teaching behavior. Their behavior, that bias behavior, they are not knowing. That is unconsciously, not intentionally, because they are simply teaching how they were taught. The gender inequity is found in teaching materials and they are overlooking. So teachers need to be made aware of their gender biased tendencies. Slide number 6. Slide number 6. Gender bias in home. So we'll discuss about, I am giving some examples, some points about what the students, boys and girls, men and women, what we see in the atmosphere, school atmosphere or educational institution atmosphere. You can always relate that. When we come to the atmosphere in a house, see very clearly male and female are the two wings of the society. So we have to develop them. Equal growth we have to, equal development, equal opportunity we have to give between these two categories. Suppose we neglect one gender, we are killing the silent killer of another. One is the silent killer of another. Most of the parents do not give equal opportunity to their female child. Suppose a father got a business and he got a boy and girl at home and both are very good in studies. Many times girls outperform the boys in those two, boy and girl. And there is a vacancy in his business. He want to take a boy or girl or maybe female or male. Then the father always prefer a boy. The reason is he feels that boy has to earn the money and take care of the parents when they become old. Even if the girl is more meritorious, they will get married and go to the second house. I don't want even to tell second house, in their own house. Now, why should I differentiate there? They will go to her husband's place. So female child is neglected in comparison to the male counterpart, even in healthcare, even in education. So when we study the parental attitude, there are two types of parental behavior. Perfect altruistic, that is, they are not selfish at all. They take care of boys and girls in the house very similar way. They welcome them for everything. They educate them well. They take care of their health well and everything. There is no differentiation at all. And another one is perfect capitalistic. They are very selfish because society is like that. They know that the female has to leave this house. They go to another house and they have to be in that house as their own daughter or most of the houses they welcome as daughter. daughter-in-laws, they say that they are all our daughters only, they treat them well. But if parents are perfectly altruistic, the social norm in the society, the social norm and traditions, what they follow, their particular family, they won't see that. They will be equally taking care of those two, girls and boys. What about the assets in the family? They divide equally. On the other hand, if the parents are capitalistic, then male child remains with the parents. They feel so because they will give them good education, and it is the duty of the boys, male child, to take care of the parents. Therefore, parents always think we can get some returns from the male child, but not from female child. What about the economic reasons also making a lot of thinking, no, because of this? If the parents are they are very rich, even then they won't see any norms. They will give the education for both of them same, that is altruistic, without any selfish motive. But even if they want to give like that, suppose the budget is less in the house, low level income in the house, so they behave as if no, they are very selfish. Actually, they don't want to do like that, but they don't have money. So what they will do, they send the boys good schools, aided schools, but girls, they will be going to government schools. So economy in the house, I mean, the budget and the wealth in the house matters a lot. They cannot permit to educate both male and female in that budget. So they invest the education only to boys. Now, gender bias against female tends to reduce as family budget increases. I already told about that. So female child goes to her husband's home. So most of the parents, those who are having this capitalistic behavior, they won't give enough education and enough spending of money towards the female girl children. What about domestic duties? Drop out from education? The girls, when they go to school, suppose the parents are sick, suppose the siblings are sick, suppose grandparents are sick, they have to drop out from the education. And what these parents will be telling? No, girl, you be at home today. It's okay if you don't go to school. But boys, no, don't miss your class. Go attend, because you have to be good in the class. Then only you will get a job. You have to take care of the family. So this is a sentence unknowingly or knowingly parents are telling, and this will have a very huge impact on the behavioral pattern of girls and towards female when they grow up. Even the domestic duties. Most of the time when the mother want to go some wage, working class, so they will tell you, take care of, you make some curry and rice at home. Father will be coming back in between. So please take care of the siblings, take care of the father. So all the domestic work, every time it goes to girls, ladies, females. So from these discussions, we know that gender bias against female in India is well established. What about fairy tales? You remember so many stories. Just remember some stories. There will be a beautiful princess. She will be trapped by an evil woman. Can you imagine the evil woman? Old, ugly, and envious because of the beauty of the princess. Then the princess would wait for a brave, handsome prince to fight against the evil woman and rescue her. She don't have the capability to rescue by herself, because she will have to wait for a right person to come and rescue her. Finally, the prince would marry the princess and they would live happily ever after. This is most of the fairy tales. So many storybooks, even the films, you connect. Most of the time, only the word difference is princess and prince. So this is what happens. Should girls always be docile, quiet and passive and submissive? Should girls always be waiting for rescue rather than fighting by themselves? Is marrying the right person here, prince, as I given you the example, the best way for the princess to return the favor? You should examine how the values are conveyed from fairy tales, social media, and how these ideas influence girls. socially and in the academic life. So when you see in the stories, articles, movies, TV serials, bad girls, they choose fat, darker skin, heavy makeup, and stepmothers. They are old, bad-tempered, always evil in character. It is not like that, but they portray like that. So these biases are even more pronounced in the movie productions. Actually, yesterday, when Arjun was calling me, I was seeing the movie. I am not addicted to movies. I am addicted to priority in my life. I am addicted to time management, honestly. But yesterday, I just want to see this movie. I was just flipping the channels. I don't know who is the hero and heroine. I'm sorry. I thought I'll find out, but I was not having that time because now we are all staying at home and we have to do the household work. No, there is lockdown in Bangalore, so the helpers are not there. So a lot of other. So this movie is Dear Comrade. I think you may be remembering that this lady girl is a cricketer, but when she want to come up in that field in the national level, no, she has to go. But the coach was misbehaving with her, and the friend, her close friend, want to give a case against this coach. But even the parents, no, no, our family name will go. No, you don't do that. No, you whatever in the court also you said no, no, I don't know. Nothing happened to me. I didn't get that because I met with an accident. So see what is conveying only that friend. So I think even good friends always support everybody, each other. Don't see the gender within the males, within the females, within the students. If you each other, if you want a support, fight for that. Please fight for that. Then only we can have a gender bias society. This fight, what I mean, is not about gender bias alone. Everyone fight for the right. Okay. Yes. So yes, that is what I was telling about the movies, how it is portrayed. So even in the films, females are sexualized, dominated by men, often in need of saving by the male characters. So you yourself think about the movies, what you have seen, TV serials. So some suggestions for parents. I just want to give some suggestions, but it's very vast, but I'll just tell 2-3 points. Parents should help girls build resistance to gender bias and its negative impact by working against stereotypes, by involving daughters and sons in tasks and activities that traditionally have been thought of as gender specific. Encourage the girls to voice their opinions and thoughts. Avoid overprotecting girls and boys also. Overprotection, you know, that may make them feel incapable of doing certain things. Let them try, let them explore. Pointing out and discussing common biases against girls in media as well as the culture what in the society. Now, slide number 7. This is another story what I collected from same Sudhamurthy. She is the first lady engineer in telco, now Tata Motors. She challenged J.R.D. Tata. So I know that most of the students maybe heard about this story. It's a true story, but still I just want to explain. By chance somebody forgot about it, or maybe somebody didn't come across. I just want to tell this. Sudhamurthy, I just don't want to even tell the name, ma'am. First female engineer hired at India's largest auto manufacturer, Tata Engineering and Locomotive Company, Telco, now Tata Motors. The year 1974. She was only one girl in doing post-graduation in Bangalore, IISc. She was looking forward to go to abroad to do doctorate in computer science. She never thought she will take a job in India. So she was staying in the hostel. So on the way back to hostel, she just thought, okay, let me see the notice board. She saw an advertisement on the notice board. It was from the famous automobile company, Telco, now Tata Motors. Sorry. It is stated that the company is requiring young, bright engineers, hardworking, and with an excellent academic background. So she was so happy to read that. She was telling, oh, I got all this. I am good in my studies. I am hardworking. I am all my academic background. It is very excellent. But at the bottom was a small line. lady candidates need not apply. She was very upset. For the first time in her life, she was up against gender discrimination. It was then she took it as a challenge. She was thinking she's extremely well in academics, better than most of the male peers. Little did she know that in real life, academic excellence is not enough to be successful. So she decided to inform the topmost person in telco management about the injustice she felt that company was perpetrating. She took a postcard, addressed, and sent. She mentioned telco is discriminating on the basis of gender. She was courage enough to do that. Soon, within some days, she received a telegram stating that you have to appear for an interview at Pune. She thought, I don't have a plan of going to take a job in, my plan is different. But her friends told, anyway, they are giving you the traveling allowance. Why can't you go? Just see the Pune and just come back and you buy these things to me. So she got encouragement from her friends. So she attended the interview. When she was entering that hall, there were about 6 panel members, according to that note. They were murmuring each other. She could understand. They were telling about her. This is the girl who wrote to JRD. They were whispering each other. Then she was asked the technical questions. She answered all of them very well. Then one elderly gentleman with very affectionate voice told her, do you know why we said lady candidates need not apply? The reason is that we have never employed any ladies on the shop floor. You know that the shop floor work may be untidy, maybe very heavy work. Maybe they have to go to the field. So they thought ladies are not capable. But you think about now, pilot, women cricketers, drivers, so many very heavy work. They are all doing, correct? So this is a factory. When it comes to academics, you are very bright. You have got a first rank also. They continued. We appreciate that. But people like you to go to research laboratories. She very politely answered, but sir, you must start somewhere. Otherwise, no woman will ever be able to work in your factories. So that happened like that. And they told, you are successful. Okay, you join. That is how her journey started. She joined there. The fate was different for her. She met a young shy man, Narayana Murthy from Pune. They became very good friends, got married. In 1982, she resigned from telco and joined her husband in Bangalore Infosys. That is her story. Don't you think you girls and boys also had to work against gender bias? Don't you think you are getting inspiration by this story? I am getting even in this age. I got 39 years of experience in teaching and about 6 months experience in a not corporate, I don't as a design engineer in electrical engineering in 1981-82. Anyway, we'll move on now. Slide number 8, gender bias in workplace. I will be going very fast this one. The reason is I want to give some general discussions and one more very nice story about a sexual harassment, even though that won't come under the category of gender bias, but always I want to motivate you students to fight for the right and change the society in your own ways, small contributions. You can do that. So gender bias in workplace, I'll just read some headings. Performance support bias, performance review bias. I think you can visualize now why the support bias, why the review. Review bias means we incorporate, we are all, even in teaching, in teachers, they will know there is an appraisal form. We have to write what we are good at. And there is an evaluation team, they will be going through that. So there are so many gender bias, even if the parts, I mean, these people, those who are working there, they are getting the same points, but still sometimes in some corporate world, some places in public sectors, depending upon the managers, what are they thinking, they are biased. Reward bias, promotions. Suppose they want to send to abroad for some job oriented work, they prefer men. Ladies, even at home, no, don't go abroad because children are very small. You have to take very small. I can understand because mothers breastfeeding. Surely the mother, that is the need. Till the age of 2 or 2.5 years, the mother should feed the baby. The natural immunity, for the COVID-19 pandemic, immunity is the first thing. If your immune system is very strong, then you can fight for this disease. Otherwise, very simple medicine: mask, washing the hand, social distancing, nothing else. Good food. Okay, I don't want to deviate. So, performance support bias occurs when employers, managers, and colleagues provide some more resources and opportunities to one gender, typically men, over other gender. So I told even the rewards in the form of promotions, increments in pay, merit-based rewards, everything, there is a gender bias. And it is seen that there is a word glass ceiling. It is nothing but a metaphor or a symbol for the evident but intangible hierarchical impediment that prevents minorities and women from achieving elevated professional success. The women experiences that barrier that prevents them from reaching the upper level roles in leadership. Slide number 9. I don't know whether I made a mistake. Anyway, okay. If otherwise, no, you can hear my talk. I just see there are some statistics. How much biases affect women in the workplace? I am having some points. I think I can send it across this one to you students because we are already 45 minutes. So I need another 15 minutes. Let me go a little faster. Many recruiting strategies are biased. Job descriptions, the advertisement you have seen, no, what Sudhamurthy saw on the notice board, contain gender bias. Interview questions can be gender biased. Perks and benefits affect gender differently. Now, both male and female hiring managers are twice as likely to hire a man over a woman. This is the study shows. Even female managers, even male managers, they prefer a woman in their office or in the corporate or in the institution, wherever. So even the job descriptions that is attract male candidates. They write the sentences such that females are thinking, oh no, we are not fit for that. So hiring managers are unconsciously gender biased. Sexual harassment in the workplace affects gender differently. This I can take topics some other time, but this also I can categorize under gender bias. I can deviate a little bit, but that is a big topic. 70% of women who experience sexual harassment experience it in the workplace. And women, if addresses the issue, they are at constant risk of harming their careers. And no, that will follow them. If the issue is taken forward, then even from the house, they'll tell, no, just ignore. Even from the office, so many people. It happened to me, actually, one small incident, I don't want to tell that. But when I taken that one to higher ups in my my young age in some place, then other colleagues of mine, how much they told me, no, take it back, that complaint. I said, no, I did it. I'm so proud today that I am really this gender bias. I am eligible to talk because I did it. So gender bias, some general discussions I want to say. Yesterday I was reading some forward, a journalist from US. He was analyzing the US financial status. He was saying white people are earning less compared to minorities and Indians and other white people. See the word he used, white people. Then he was comparing with minorities and Indians and Africans, some other, this one, I just taken it here. I was thinking, see, even recently, that is what I heard. Then now, since I was reading this, and quite some years I am reading some articles about this. So whenever I come across, it is striking in my head. Consciously it is striking because I am giving you these details. Now today onwards, there will be going to a change in you. Wherever you come across, it will unconsciously we neglect, overlook that. But now you are going to visualize, you are going to see, you are going to act against gender bias, because you know that, yes, this is true in our country, globally. What about when the mother conceive a baby? Parents, in-laws, husband, society, relatives, all are waiting whether baby boy or baby girl. Suppose baby girl, they say 2 girls, 2, 3, 4. Then also they'll say, okay, let me see. Next time God will grant us one nice baby boy. Why are they thinking about the health of the mother? No, they are very selfish. They want a baby boy. The custom is like that. I'm sorry to tell this. Our custom, no, even in the burial place, females are not allowed. Only ladies, men can go, and the boy, the eldest son, or no, they are got the right. So they want, this is our right. We should have a baby boy, so that no, they will look after us. So this is the message we are conveying. What about abortion? The abortion rate is very high in our country and globally also. That is what. So this is very evident. Sex selective abortions are existing. Now, slide number 11 and 12, both are, I think, suppose you want to give birthday gifts. Normally we go, no, what are the new items? Google will open and see. Birthday gift for my friend, for my mother, for my sister. What about girls? You see here, teddy bear, no, some kitchen utensils, earrings, all those things. Next slide. What about the boys? Will be some vehicles, building blocks, keychain. See the difference. What message you are sending to the society? What about the color psychology? The study shows that 13, sorry, slide number 13. This is mix and match. Okay, so I am talking in general, whatever I observed. I thought I'll just communicate to you. What about the color psychology? Pink color, it is always attached to love and warmth. Blue color, confidence and responsibility. So, what about the girl? Constantly remind her, you are a girl. Come back home early. What about from office hours? Please come back home early. You tell your managers that no, we need a vehicle. Otherwise, no, I cannot stay late in the office. Suppose they'll laugh loudly. Don't laugh loud. Why can't you tolerate? Adjust. No. Why can't you adjust? What is this always you are complaining? Look after your family. Carry your husband, in-laws. Can you relate all these things with the females, ladies, girls? What about boy? Why are you sitting in the house always? Why can't you go out and play cricket or football? Conquer the world. You want to go abroad? Yes. Study well. You get good marks. I'll get you tuition teachers. Tomorrow only I'll arrange. Okay, I will send you abroad. What about the girls? No. Why you want to go abroad? If you want to go abroad, get married and go. Don't go now. Why? Your marriage is fixed. No, the boy is working in our hometown only, or maybe in Delhi, or maybe Bombay. Why you want to go abroad? What you will do there? Your husband's place is here. Everything is fixed. So all their passion shattered. Boys, they want to take more degrees. Take how much ever you want to study. We will support you. Parents encourage. Teachers encourage. Of course, I am not blaming teachers here, especially about parents. In some, not all the parents. I want you to think that no parents, those who are not consciously doing it, or maybe sometimes of the pressure from the society, traditions, no orthodox family. Now the girls, Mama, I want to study post-graduation. I want to do MTech after doing my BTech. No, don't study too much. You won't get a nice boy. Nowadays, boys are getting married at the age of 24, 25 itself, and you won't get, don't study. Already you are 22 now. Now we will see a proposal for you. Suppose for transferable job, husband is transferred to a place because he got a promotion. The girls, the ladies, working women, they have to leave this job and go try another job in that place. What about the transferable job for the girl, promotions for the lady? No, why you want to take? No, his job is here. No, your husband's job is here. You got a nice house and you are staying in in-laws place. There means you have to take a separate house. No, you just tell them that you don't want the promotion. These are all the things we are conveying. So this is what I want to tell you about some here and there. And slide number 14. So what I did is this, I got it. Actually, I am getting motivated. I want to tell the two names today. Dr. Radha Padmanabhan, my mentor, I can say. She is my vice chancellor in Presidency University. She's the one who motivates me and for everything. And another Dr. Sapna Mohan, she was the dean School of Law in Presidency University before, and now she is with the Christ University. So when I was interacting and I was attending seminars and some conferences with them, then they were mentioning about that they interacted with the helpers, no, in the office staff where they see. I thought, let me also interact with my women helpers in this apartment where I stay here in Bangalore. So I just asked her, how are you? What about your children? What they are doing? So she was so happily want to tell about their children to me. Thank God, my daughter got such a good husband. He takes care of my daughter. Yeah, he sometimes he drinks and come back home late. But why? It's okay. All the men are taking drinks, but no, not beating. No, she's safe in that house. See the difference? Okay, if he's drinking and beating her daughter, sometimes it's okay. But he's taking care of. Money is given to her to run the house. What about another girl, another family, one lady I asked? Yes, I'm so happy because she got married, a divorcee with two children, but she's very rich and takes care of my daughter very well. Did she ever thought the girl got a dream of getting married? Her, thinking in her dreams there is somebody, no, never thought about it. 18 years, more than 17 years, that is what she told me. Got married to this elderly man, and even though he's a divorcee, eligible bachelor. But divorced women, it is their mistake. Men always eligible bachelor. And what about sexual harassment? For students, I want to tell you one thing. Most of you know that, but still I want to make it register in your mind. If the bias is nothing but just what you think that, extreme steps what a man take towards a woman, even you know that Nirbhaya episode. But even a hug, casual hug, if the girl didn't like it, if the boy didn't like it, and the words what you use, some girls dress up very nicely, sometimes the boys don't like that girl, no, pass some comments, bad comments they pass, and the gestures, the way you look, these are all under sexual harassment. So I just want you to know about it, because you can know when you come across somebody, not, I am not telling about you, we are all, now the new generation boys and girls, they're all very well educated, very nicely behaved. So I'm not telling about you, but you can always transfer this. If somebody is sexually harassed by word, by look, by small touch, you can always tell, you can go and complain, because our system is there. There is a law behind that. So what these girls, suppose they complain about these things, what we parents sometimes in the house, they tell, don't overreact, just neglect, don't be emotional. Even so many friends tell that. Slide number 15. Now, some 2-3 sentences more, then I will go conclude with one story. So government has taken initiative after several years of dilly-dally to provide 30% reservation for women in legislative bodies. Even though this decision was taken years back, even as on today, there is only about 10% women representatives. You know the reason. So to make it unless there is a will on the part of we society, everybody, this aspiration will live as a dream for ages. So I just want to talk about property rights. I'll just skip that one. Husband's ill treatment, passing comments at public places, child abuse. So these are the topic. I can talk and talk more than hours together, but I just don't want to, because now you understood these keywords, gender bias. You know that what is that? Child abuse, property right. It is not divided equally. Some different communities, different category of section of people. some families. No, in Kerala, in north side, there is I think most of you maybe come across the ancestral property, the house should go only to a woman. No, that is why them after getting married, always the husband will be in girl's house, wife's house, because that is the tradition. Even though I got two brothers and one sister, my ancestral house gone to my sister because they didn't go to my brothers. Even though my parents are, I'm so happy they brought us in that age. What is my age now? I am already retired and I'm continuing my job. So I'm happy that we born and brought up in such a good parents, and all of you, of course, yes. So I conclude with this, but I want to really want to say the gender bias. Ways to gender bias is there, slide number 16. I am skipping this one. In between everywhere, I just deviated and I told you about this. And I'll directly go to the slide number 19. Oh, it is not there. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, okay. Yeah. See, many times even judiciary is helpless as the evidence are missing and also there won't be any witness. This particular incident, why I am telling you, it is not directly coming under gender bias. Then also I want you to hear this. There are women activities, activists. They take keen interest now and they lend hand to deal bias issues. Even sexual harassment, there are so many women people there to come forward. Below incident shows how a lady fought for the right and her name is noted for her courage. In that aspect, I want to discuss the below true story. Okay, so here it goes. So her name is Banwari Devi, an Indian social worker from Rajasthan. She who was gang raped in 1992, years back, by higher caste men angered by her efforts to prevent a child marriage in their family. You know that even now child marriages are quite common in so many villages. She took up these issues related to, normally she took up issues related to land, water, literacy, health and child marriage. The state government of Rajasthan decided to launch a campaign against child marriage because of her work. One family which had arranged such a marriage was that of Ram Karan, that is his name. He is a prominent person in that with Janmi, we say that. He had planned to marry off his 9-month-old daughter. Banwari Devi made attempts to persuade the family against carrying out their wedding plans. So the police, DSP, and other some SDO and all went to this Bateri village to stop the marriage. Of course, they could stop. But what happened? The marriage took place at 2 a.m. the next day. No police action was taken against this. This resulted in social and economic boycott of Banwari and her family. The villagers stopped associating with her. The reason, because they are more influential. That rich man, that Janmi, he was, he told, no, you shouldn't give milk to that house. Don't interact with them. Keep them away. So what happened is, according to Banwari Devi, at dusk on evening time at 22nd September 1992, while her husband and she was working in the field, 5 men gang raped her. Even the male doctor refused to do the medical examination, of course, because that is okay, I can understand, but no female doctor was present in that village. Banwari Devi was accused of fabricating the entire incident, faced public humiliation in her village. They given her a lot of monetary benefit so that they will take back the complaint, but she refused monetary compensation. So in the verdict on 1995, 1992 to 3 years, the District and Sessions Court in Jaipur dismissed the case and acquitted all the 5 accused. But under pressure from women's groups, the state government decided to appeal against the judgment. Of course, there was no use. All the 5 again accused who were now declared not guilty. Why I am telling this is the judgment came in 1997, Vishaga guidelines, provided the basic definitions of sexual harassment, at the workplace and provided guidelines to deal with it. It is seen as significant legal victory for women groups in India. She received lot of honors nationally, internationally. She traveled abroad and she participated in Fourth World Conference. And in 1994 also, she got an award, Neeraja Banot Memorial Award. She got cash prize for her extraordinary courage, conviction, and commitment. So even Chief Minister of Rajasthan in 2002 given her a house and lot of monetary benefits. But the women activists taken forward, and in other way, other women won over their sexual harassment issues so many times, because this Vishaga guidelines is very strong, and that is what I want to communicate with you, tell you. You all should be very brave, boys and girls, students, for the right, stand for the right. Thank you. So you can, any questions you can ask me, whatever within my reach, I can always tell you. Otherwise, surely I think I will mail you back, because this is a learning session for me also. I don't know, this new generation students may be having different type of questions. If I was in a law background, I could have done more better, whatever the, if otherwise in general discussions, I can always have. It's already 1 hour, 5 minutes. Arjun, I don't know.
Okay, ma'am, there's a question in the chat box. I'll read it out.
Yes.
It's from Binoy SS. The question is, till now, no female was able to enter into elite special forces like SEALs, Marcos, etc. So it is open for both genders. What do you think about this?
Yes, that is what I think there is an echo. What I feel is, now the law is in place, but we women has to fight for that. So the allied jobs, even if the females apply, there is a gender bias. But I think if that they feel that, they have to fight for that. And it has to come in the media. It has to come, you have to talk about it. And even the men, even the support should be there with them. Collectively, if you go forward, you can win. Yes?
Yeah, thank you. My name is Shabir. Thank you, Arjun, for coordinating these sessions for the last 4 weeks. GCW Alumni Bengaluru chapter is organizing such workshops. First of all, thanks Arjun and thank you, ma'am, for being with us at Government Engineering College, Wayanad. So my question is, yesterday, my friend's wife gave birth to fourth girl. So he messaged me that I got fourth kid.
I think there is a break. There is a break in voice. Tell me.
Yeah. Hello. So he got fourth kid. That is a girl. So my wife's first question was, is it a boy? So
yes.
I told no, it's a girl. So I don't know. Even yeah, that's still there in the community.
Yeah.
I mean, looking. So your take on that?
Yes. I am so happy because what he is telling is, even the mother sometimes unconsciously she wants a baby boy. So even not only husband or maybe parents, even the mother wants sometimes, I want a baby boy. That is natural, but it is not a influence on her. No, you are having a fourth. Even the mother, instead of taking the three, I hear this is a fourth child, correct?
Yeah.
So that is from the schooling, from the when they born and brought up, it is there in her mind subconsciously, and no, if I don't have boy, the society will think, oh, 4 girls, how, that discouraging words always will come in and it will be pondering her. And she feels that, no, it is because of me, I couldn't provide a baby boy in the family. So that is working in her. But if the husband and parents give them the strong support, hey, why you want to we can 2 girls will do. Maybe, of course, 3 girls also, it's okay. I feel sometimes, they are very fond of children. And no, why can't adopt? Suddenly I was thinking now, to adopt a baby boy, no, it is yours. The boy is yours. So you have to, thinking culture has to change. Okay? Okay,
Yeah.
thank you, Shabir.
Any more questions? Arjun? So I think one more question is there in the chat.
Binoy SS has posted in the chat box. Actually, those who got selection quit training by themselves. For the previous question.
Is it a question?
No, it says like
The first question.
I couldn't understand.
He said it as a continuation of the first question. Like till now, no female was able to enter into elite special forces like SEALs, Marcos, etc. For that question, as a continuation, he says actually those who got selection quit training by themselves.
God?
Selection quit training by themselves.
They got the training by themselves.
They quit.
I can hear my own voice.
Actually, that the SEALs in special forces, even though they are getting selection, but they quit after training. So they won't stay.
What is that? Why they quit, it seems?
No idea. Binoy,
that is very important, no? Maybe their health is not that good, or maybe they feel that is very tough. Maybe they're not that intelligent to cope up. Maybe they are inferiority complex. Maybe somebody is putting them in, injecting them that inferiority, or maybe some pressure from the house. So without knowing that, I cannot tell a correct answer for that. Why did she quit? Then I can surely because I counsel so many people. So I can surely give an answer. Just find out and mail me. Surely I can give you an answer.
And also one more question. If I think I'm not wrong, what Binoy is saying. So gender equality doesn't mean that everything man can do, the same thing can be done by ladies also. I think it's possible, but
they are telling
the thing is that there are some jobs.
Which you are thinking that ladies cannot do? Can you give me one example?
No, maybe some require, for example, a lot of physical work. In that case,
they don't know. What about Jhansi Rani? She didn't fight.
No, maybe I don't know whether about this. Binoy is asking that same question.
No. I am happy to interact with you, students. Don't think that I am against you. But these questions what make others feel that yes, we can do it. That's why I'm discussing. So I'm encouraging to ask questions, because even I can also evolve. Because some questions, sometimes it is suddenly I'm getting. See, actually, I was never thought about adopting a child when those who are having. I never thought of telling that. Suddenly, in my mind worked. Yes. What about which one lady cannot do? Of course, some health problem will be there. Some are not physically fit, but training can make you fit. See, I'll tell you about myself. That is a good example.
Binoy is telling that he just pointed out that even though they get a chance to be in the Marines, but they are quitting.
Even
why?
That is okay. That is their choice.
What could be the reason?
Yeah, because there is echoing and double voice is coming. Sorry.
Yeah. Maybe that's why the question and comment and that get confused. Ma'am, by the way, Shabir sir is he's a professor and he was my advisor.
Okay.
So
that is very nice. I'm so happy. Yes, I understand that. And the students nowadays, I want to tell them that whatever the first job you are going to get, final years, now going to 7th semester maybe, please take up that job. Because in my university also, they got before March, they got some job. They thought better job, we'll get it. We don't know what is meant tomorrow. So you may lose the opportunities. So quitting this is not a good. Sitting in one place and trying for another better post is the best way to see. Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. So I don't see any more questions. I suspected there are more questions on this topic.
Maybe I explained so well so that everybody got the answer.
That's good actually. No concern. That's a good sign basically, right? for especially on this topic. All right, any more questions?
Prapanch, I think you're.
Okay, we have dropped a feedback form in the chat section. I hope everyone will fill it out. Now, I would like to thank Sneha Prabha ma'am for delivering such a wonderful session. It was really fantastic session, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, I would like to thank GCW Alumni Association Bangalore chapter and Shabil sir for giving us the opportunity to host the event. Thank you, sir. Last but not least, I would like to thank all the attendees who had actively participated in this session. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I just leave now.
Yes, ma'am. Carry on. Go on. Thank you.
ഹലോ ഷമീർ തുഷാര ഉണ്ടല്ലോ, നമുക്കൊരു ഓൺലൈൻ മീറ്റിംഗ് ആക്കിയാലോ? ഹലോ